Now I'll start speaking in Telugu. బేసిక్గా దివ్య పిల్లయ్య గారు ఈజ్ మలయాళీ. నేను తెలుగులో మాట్లాడడానికి ట్రై చేస్తాను, అక్కడక్కడ కొన్ని ఇంగ్లీష్ వర్డ్స్ వాడతాను సో దట్ అర్థం చేసుకోవడానికి ఈజీగా ఉంటుంది. యా ఓకే.
నేను తెలుగు హౌ డు ఐ సే అండర్స్టాండ్
అర్థం చేసుకుంటాను.
అర్థం చేసుకుంటారు.
వైల్ మాట్లాడడం
కొంచెం
గ్రామర్
మిస్టేక్ లైక్ వర్డ్స్ எல்லாமே లైక్
ప్రొనౌన్స్ చేయడం లాంగ్ వర్డ్స్ కూడా
ఐ డోంట్ నో హౌ టు సే ఇట్ బ్యాక్ బట్ ఐ కెన్ అండర్స్టాండ్. దానికి అర్థం అయింది,
అర్థం అవుతుంది,
అర్థం అవుతుంది.
నైస్. సో మీకు అర్థమైంది కదా సిచ్యువేషన్.
That is the issue right now.
Okay, anyway, మా ఆడియన్స్ ఆర్ రెడీ. అంటే మీరు అసలు మీ గురించి తెలుసుకోవాలని, లైక్ వేర్ యూర్ ఫ్రమ్ అన్నీ తెలుసుకోవాలని దే ఆర్ వెయిటింగ్. విల్ మేనేజ్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్ నౌ. ఓకే, ఎలా ఉన్నారు? హౌ ఆర్ యూ?
బాగున్నారు. So like I'm very happy to be here. Mangalvaram, thank you so much. Like the love that I've got from the people, like it's like I didn't expect. Adu konchu like a villain character. I was like, okay, parvale konchu different ayirukum. Like for me also to perform, it'll be nice. I thought like, and I like doing a little bit of a challenging role. So something that's different. So when that came up, I was like, okay, it's interesting. And then finally, for the movie to release, it took almost a year after we shot. Like like it released. So I was waiting so much, like like because I was keen on seeing. Because the story itself is a bit controversial.
Exactly.
Very controversial story. So I've never been a part of like such a controversial, so I was like, I was nervous about that. I was nervous about like how my character would be perceived. Like romba innocent, then suddenly did it work? Like that the changeover,
that revealing,
was
that surprising or not?
adu vandu like audience ka like did they capture that, did they get it? Adella like so I was like very romba like oru nervousness irundichu, like. And then finally when it came out, and unfortunately at that time I was abroad. I was shooting for a Tamil film. So I was in Malaysia, so I couldn't come for the promotions and to see because usually for my first show, like we have a special show, Malayalam films, and I like to watch it with the audience,
so that you could see the reaction.
See the reaction. Like I love it, so like when they apota like okay,
it's like a verdict, right?
Like it's we have done. Exactly. So it's like okay, so whatever we have done, if it's negative or positive response, it doesn't matter. If people like can understand your character, if they can, so that means your job okay, good.
Perfect.
So you feel like okay, fine, okay, it's good. So that kind of satisfaction is it's amazing, and that's why I'm doing this, like so that
so Mangalvaram tarvata release tarvata you haven't gave any interview, right? This is your first interview after Mangalvaram.
Yeah.
Yes. But team vallu, did they record and send you the reactions at the theaters?
Yes. I saw some of them, and Ajay sir had avanga vandu like he was like telling me like Divya, please come and just see and I was like, sir, it's all thanks to Ajay sir, because it's his writing and his vision of that character.
Director Ajay Bhupati.
Yes. Ajay sir's so avanga vandu like the character, like how he executed the character, and how he kept that character as a secret till the end.
Exactly.
Nobody even guessed that. That is a writer's and a filmmaker's brilliance. I always say I'm a director's actor. However they want to portray me, because I'm new to this. I'm new to acting. I never thought that I would be an actor.
Okay.
So never. I was working in Dubai for an airline as a commercial analyst, as an analyst. So I never thought that I would be here and working as in the movies, or it just by chance happened.
How? So
we want to know. my story is like I was born and raised in Dubai.
Okay.
Lived all my life there, and then I did my engineering in Coimbatore.
Okay.
That's how I'm little, familiar with
Tamil.
with Tamil, yeah.
Okay.
And then after that, I went back to Dubai. I was working with my dad first in his business, and then finally Emirates. I was for the longest time like I was working as an intern first over there in Emirates as a cabin crew recruitment team, like an admin job.
Okay.
So that was my first job, and then from there I grew and I was like working. Then I moved to Fly Dubai, and that's another airline. And it was my dream. Like when I was a child, I lived next to the airport, and there in Dubai they used to have these Dubai Air Show.
Oh, okay.
So it's brilliant to see that. Like, there are different fighter aircrafts with, with colors and everything with the different flags, and, so different countries would represent. So I always was fascinated by that. I always wanted to become, so I wanted to become a pilot, and then I realized that there's a lot of responsibility that you're carrying. About 300 other souls is your responsibility. So I was like, okay then. And I'm scared of flying.
Okay. Oh, you're scared of flying?
Yeah, I'm scared of flying. So, because I had an experience like while I was traveling back from Coimbatore to Dubai once, to Sharjah once. It just happened like a turbulence. And just a bit, and I really freaked out after that.
Oh, it was severe then?
Yeah, it was
severe turbulence.
Severe turbulence, and it just dropped. Yeah, so then
on the runway?
No. Then while you're flying, sometimes there are air pockets, so then the flight just drops sometimes. It happens with a pressure difference. It's safe, there's absolutely no problem, but it happens sometimes. But then that really, because of that, I was really scared, and I was very young at that time, so I was like, okay, I'm scared of this, but I don't. Then I was like, you know what, I don't want to become a pilot, maybe not, but then let me try. But I always want
somewhere related to airline, on the ground.
Not up air, not up in the air, but then somewhere in the ground I can help the people get in and go. So I worked in different departments. I have worked in airport services, reservations, in different departments. Like I kept moving around, and finally I was in the commercial department, and and then while I was working for airport services is when like I went for my friend's wedding, and she got married to a celebrity, a Malayalam celebrity, Kavya Madhavan's brother.
Okay.
So she, so at the event, like at her wedding, there were so many directors, and they kind of like, one of them noticed me for this movie that he was directing. And that was Vineet Kumar sir for Fahad Fasil's movie Ayal Janala. That was my first movie.
Okay.
So that's how they contacted my friend, said, and so she was like, I thought it was a prank call. Honestly, I thought she was pranking me. She's like, you know what? You were there, and you came for the wedding, right? So then this director saw you, and he wants you to be there in this movie. This is character called Hira. It's like Fahad's heroine, second heroine. So why don't you do it? And I was like, you're joking. I didn't believe it. And then she's like, just do it. It'll be fun. She kind of convinced me. Then when I told my parents, my dad was very supportive, and that's how I did that movie.
Okay.
And I enjoyed the whole process of acting. I didn't know that I could do it. I didn't know what shooting was. I didn't know, like, and even movies also I used to watch very less because I was so focused at work. You're working for 10, 12 hours a day. After that, you don't really get time much to watch movies or whatever, then your weekend, if someone says like, oh, it's an amazing movie, it's funny, and yeah, I like comedy movies, I like watching comedy, so that's when I go and, okay, watch a movie. Otherwise, that's how disconnected with movies I was.
Okay. You are very new to the industry, right? Wasn't that nervous? Wasn't it nervous being on the set for the first time?
No, see, that's my first movie. They were very considerate and kind, and I thought all movies, everyone would be considerate and kind, and that's how it's going to be. So I was just patient. I was just watching and learning, and I enjoyed this. But at the same time, even back then, this was in 2015. So I was like, okay, my passion is still to be in the aviation industry, and I wanted to become like top level management, and that's where I see myself. So corporate life is what I wanted to be in, and then there's a certain kind of discipline that corporate life has. So sometimes I used to expect the same over here, like, so that was a bit
being on the time,
and being,
leaving by 6,
and all the, like, not only that, it's like, certain deadlines, meeting deadlines and everything. But here, sometimes at shoot, there's so many things that could happen. Like, nothing, even if you plan to the T, like, there will be something that might be. So that's where you have to be prepared at all times. I was not ready for that.
Okay.
So, so I didn't know that. Like, I was like, no, but then they said that tomorrow is my shoot, and then I'm supposed to be, why am I here? Why am I waiting here? Like, one morning till evening, when is my shot ready?
Okay, you thought the moment you come, they'll
take my shots, and I'm like, okay, that's. But it doesn't happen like that. Like, several times, there would be some other, there's a rain, or there is, the vehicle doesn't come, or some small error, and then they have to improvise and take another scene. And then that's because every day that you spend, it's money.
Yeah.
It took me a while to realize that, okay, there is just not just people's time. And so it was like, I enjoyed the process of acting, like being on screen, turning into someone else, and that was very magical for me. Like, I really, and I did.
You can live another life in the same life.
Yeah, and from somebody else's perspective and somebody else's character, you're giving life to it, and thinking about that person, how they will think, and that was very interesting for me. And I mean, I enjoyed that part of it, and I used to go back work, so unpaid leave. So then my second movie happened with Jitu Joseph sir and Prithviraj sir. Was my second movie called Ooram.
The village, that one?
No.
Another one.
This is a Malayalam film.
Okay.
Ooram it's called. Jitu Joseph sir was the director, and the lead was played by...
When was your first movie released?
2015.
15, okay.
Yeah. This was in 2016. So my, like, from the previous movie when it released, I got called for the second movie. And so that's what, every time it's happened like that, like, my previous movie gets me the next movie. Okay. It's been always like that. I've been lucky that way, touch wood, that, and but after Ooram, I took a 3-year break. Okay. Because I got promoted in Dubai, and I couldn't take time off. For Ooram, I had to take 2 months of unpaid leave, and I realized that, but so many movies that came to me became a hit. I had to turn it down because I couldn't take time off. So then there was a pinch, I started watching movies differently, like understanding, now that I understand the process, what happens behind the scenes.
Exactly, yeah.
So then, like, when I started watching movies, I started seeing it in a different, and I used to be like, okay, if I did this, how would I do it? So that kind of thing. And then,
that missing feeling.
Yeah. And whatever you do, when you go back at a desk and you work, you won't get that satisfaction.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Once you see,
once you're in here, and my first director, he had told me, Vineethan had told me that, you wait and watch. Once the cinema bug bites you, and you will definitely come back. You will not sit. I said, no, that is my passion. I want to know. I'll become, my God, I'll become the vice president, and no, my goodness, no. And then he was like, no, you're going to come back here. This is what's going to happen. And then I was like, oh. And he's so right about it. Like,
exactly. Yeah.
And I'm thankful to him for my career. Like, every director of mine, the trust that they had in me, like, to give me that character and that role. It's like, yeah.
And even Mangalvaramlo kuda, the role that you did, it's so perfect. That innocence, the smile, and all, perfectly suited you. Correct ga alage set ayyar anamata aa role kosame unnattu meeru. Ante Ajay Bhupati garu, I don't know how he selected.
He saw my movie Kala in Malayalam. That's how they saw me in that movie. Adukapram da, like, they called me for this role, and initially I was a bit like, I was like, okay, but then I was like, you know what, it's a, like, negative character. So how I see it is that if you remove my character from the movie, how important is it? Like, that's how I decide on.
Makes no sense.
Yeah. So as long as I have a, like, of course I love to do lead roles, and I enjoy doing my lead characters and whatnot, but then sometimes, you know, as an actor, you just have to, I love to see, I didn't restrict myself, okay, because it's a negative role, I will not do it. I loved that character. Like somehow that was like, you know, it gave me that edge. So yeah. And you know, sometimes when you're doing a negative character, you have a range of emotions that you can portray. Like I feel like, you know, there is usually it is I think it is always sadness or happiness or love. You have to variate yourself in this zone, like, you know. But when it is like a negative, like a bold, or you know, like a different kind of, you have different range. It carries you, the graph goes, like, you know, like, so you can put yourself in different, and you can just float into it. So that's what I enjoyed, like the changeover, like, you know, I really, the way how when Ajay Bhupati sir said that, you know, when he's going to come and you're going there, you're like, you want to know like what happened, is who's the next person's name that is written there, what's going to happen, because she's afraid whether her husband will know that it's her name. And then she's like, oh, what's happened with that? And then he already knows by then. And when he puts me in that, I'm already prepared to kill him. Like, you know. So that whole thing of like, that's where he wanted my change to come. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed doing that scene.
But in real life lo kuda, if you see ante mana ala kind of characters చూసినప్పుడు, it's very ante relate చేసుకోవడం కష్టం. We can't relate to them.
Yes.
We don't even read about them. Anta frequent ga we don't.
Yes.
But relating is one thing, and living in that character
is a different thing. See, that's one thing. Like, you know, I enjoy it at that time. Once he says cut, I'm out of it also. I don't understand this whole thing of like, you know, I enjoy being someone else. I know I'm playing someone else. Like that much, you know. Like, and then you can, because you're playing with your facial expressions, you're playing with your faces, and you know how you're emoting, and it's just fun to do that. But that doesn't mean that, you know, you get into deep in that, emotionally you get connected to that. I can't do that because some of the characters that I've chosen to do also, like, I don't agree with it, and completely that I don't agree with, I don't take it up also. That's also there. There are some characters where that's come to me, and then I'm like, I don't feel it. Like, you know, sometimes it happens. Like you feel it. Like that's where I draw the line. Like, oh no, I can't do it, or like you have to let go of certain things. Like, you know, but this one was interesting for me. She's frustrated. So I created the whole backstory in my head. She's frustrated. She's angry. She's like, you know, and that's how Ajay Bhupati sir explained that to me, like, help me, because she's being abused by her husband. And you know, and these things happen in real life, you know, and people don't talk about it or anything, but you see that around you. So then I felt like, okay, you know what, why not? It's not like it's going to change anything or anything, but then at least it's shown out to people, right? Like whoever is this nice portraying people, not necessarily, they have their reasons. We are not known to judge, but they have their reasons to do whatever they want. But this is life.
Exactly.
Yeah. So and that was important, and it was important. And he was so adamant, you know, about that. And he was like saying that there are so many people. And I initially even I was like, why can't she just leave her husband and then go and do whatever she wants? Like, you know, that's what anyone would do with common sense.
But like, it's quite unusual in villages. Leaving a husband is
and then going, and he's like, no, it is not. It's not for people like that. It's not. They like to, and for them, it's so important. This image, you know, this respect, this. You know,
and the family carries.
The family carries and everything. That is important. So we had a long discussion about this for him to, you know, tell me. And then it made sense to me to a certain level that why this person is like this. And obviously it's a bit more dramatic in movies, not like that in real life. But this is what, you know, makes you think, no? Like, there's so many people, like, you know, I know, like, after coming to India, moving to in 2020, I made this decision. Okay, I'm taking up acting.
But right now you're not doing.
No, I'm not. 2019 August I resigned.
Okay.
And I moved to Kochi 2020 Jan 1st.
Okay.
So I'm grateful and happy that I've taken the decision. You know. It took me a while to decide that, because you need to have that financial stability, because this industry, as much as it's glamorous and beautiful,
It's uncertain too.
it's uncertain. There's a lot of uncertainty around it. And I knew that. I knew that you're not getting like, so I'm so used to having this monthly salary every month. You plan everything. You plan your finances. You plan everything is planned. But here no matter what you do, how much ever you plan, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So you have to be like, so I want to make sure that I'm financially okay. So then I'm not like, and I can choose. I can choose what I want to do. If the movie is nice, if the script is well with me, it's like I get to, I'm not like desperate for work in that sense or anything of that sort. So I have that freedom to
choose.
Yeah, and that was important to me.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's where I am right now.
But you quit your job and you came here.
Yeah.
Like this pressure of not doing work every day and expecting work and expecting more work.
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of a pressure for you?
It's like, it's not a pressure. See, that's why it's important that you need to have some sort of, like, that's why I took a break and I was continuously working. I took some time to decide. So financially I was okay. I made some money, I kept some, so financially you're good. You're not like, you're not depending on, and of course you have your parents' backup also. But you can't every time, your first month you can ask, second month you can ask. After that, you're like, your parents are like, what are you doing? You left your job and you came here. So then that's always going to be there. Yeah. But you don't let yourself, sometimes some movies you might have to do, where if you see financial gain. Sometimes you do certain things for, you might take a lesser remuneration, but if the character and the team and everything is good, if it takes you to another level and you get that satisfaction. It all depends on how you want to, it's all up to that person. Sometimes, and I have this actor friend in Malayalam, he's like, and he's directed a movie, he's very famous, okay, Dhyan Srinivasan. So Dhyan, I remember he telling me, like, I was like, Dhyan, he's so busy and he's going continuously, he's working, and whenever he's very funny, he's a funny person, and he mentioned this to me, saying that sometimes you just have to do movies because we are actors, this is what we are doing, this is our job. So as any other person, you have to consider this as a job. Yes, sometimes for me it's difficult to name a price tag on myself, on my acting or for work. But sometimes you just have to stand strong in your ground and you say that, yes, this is what I am. And then that's where you make that decision whether you want to hike up your price or whether you want to lower your price or things like that. And so he was saying that sometimes you just do movies to maintain that lifestyle, to maintain, you need to work. You can't say that, you can't go to a grocery store and say, oh, I'm an actor, give me this. They will not do that. But when you go to, for, when they come to you for something, like there are people who will come to actors or, singers, or even to you, like, everyone who is famous, they'll come to, like, can you just do this for us? Can you just do this for us? And it doesn't work like that. Like, so you have to really stand your ground and make your, this is a struggle that people really don't talk about. Many people in the industry, that they don't really talk about the struggles. They talk about all the, oh, the movie was fantastic, or the struggle in the movie.
Only the glam side of the industry.
But these things, so anyone who's, who wants to come to this, I know there are so many young men and women who want to, be in the limelight and be. Always make sure that you stand your ground and you have financial independence. Don't put your head down to anyone. You know your worth. Don't let anyone else decide that for you. So for that is very important. I feel that is important, because at certain times, people will try to put you down by bringing your worth down. That doesn't mean that that's them. That's how much they can do. That doesn't have to indirectly mean your worth. If that makes sense.
Yeah.